Well, hello everyone and welcome. We are
Radiant
about
team
to
ban.
blossom and start up the Fallout Gaming Major All-Star Tournament event. The Malaysian tournament right now with a 100K base prize pool and a LAN final there in Malaysia. And of course, this is going to be a
10
crowd-funded
seconds remaining.
event. You can get the ticket right now in the Dota store. I believe it's about $9.99 or
5
$10, and a
5
portion of that
seconds
goes towards the
remaining.
prize pool itself. And we're going to begin now the NA
Reserve
qualifier,
time.
the American qualifier, and we'll see now as our debut matchup is going to be between Union Gaming taking on Complexity
team
Gaming, a
pick.
battle of the gamings, if you will. Beyond the Summit's going to be bringing you the coverage, and it's going to be myself, KotLGuy, but I'm not going at it alone. I got my good buddy back again. He is going through the ringer of casting the gauntlet, if you will. It's going to be Mr. Maut. How you feeling, my friend? You said you got 3 different tournaments you're casting today, and you were just ready to jump in here and help me out. I do appreciate that.
Yeah, man. First of all, whenever you need a caster, man, I'm here for you. You know that,
What a
as
guy.
always.
10
You're a
seconds
great man.
remaining.
Absolutely.
Thanks for having me, as always, again, my friend. You're absolutely right. I'm casting, we'll call it a
Radiant
metric
team
shit ton of
pick.
tournaments. We have this one, which is the Major All-Stars tournament, which I'm very excited for.
Yep.
Also did Dota Pit this morning with F4L, which I have a little bit later on in the week, and of course Dota 2 Canada Cup tonight as well. So lots of tournaments, lots of
Dota.
action. Dota is on the menu as always.
Dota is very much real. All right, there's going to be plenty of it. And as far as the NA list and team breakdown for this particular tournament on what we're going to be expecting
10
here, obviously, of
seconds
course,
remaining.
Union Gaming and Complexity, but we also got the new Team Fire, which I believe are now called Summoner's
Dire
Rift, which
team
is the
pick.
Fluff Demon Squad. We also have, of course, Wheel is back, Void Boys, Team Leviathan, E-Hug, and Not Today. And they're going to be battling it out through this small 8-spot bracket. Only one team is going to qualify and make it to those LAN finals. So a lot on the line, a lot of money, and the opportunity to kind of fly overseas towards that LAN finals should be pretty luxurious there. So let's kind of keep moving through as the draft begins to develop here. Also
10
worthy to note,
seconds remaining.
you know, unless you've been sleeping under a rock as of recent, we have a new patch on our
5
hands here. We got
seconds remaining.
6.83C. We got beasts and goodies and gadgets and dragons, but the more important thing for Captain's
Reserve
Mode
time.
is they did make some recent adjustments and changes to some of the top priority pickups, like your Jug, like your Axe, and they even have enabled Phantom Lancer into Captain's Mode. Mott, are you expecting to see any sort of PL in the near future?
I actually was expecting like at least because the patch came yesterday, I think it was, and I was expecting last night during Canada Cup to have some PL picks, and then it didn't happen. And this morning I was like, okay, well there'll probably be some PL picks this morning, and then it didn't happen. So I'm just like, I mean, I feel like that hero's pretty good, but I guess people don't want to run it yet. The thing that I guess it doesn't
Dire
surprise
team
me is that
ban.
they changed Jug, they changed Axe, they touched those heroes a bit, and they're still first pick, first ban. Like Axe is still amazing. They didn't change his Q ability, which is Berserker's Call. I mean, they changed it a little bit, but like they didn't change the cooldown, they didn't change the mana cost. That hero is still amazing. Juggernaut is kind of
10
iffy.
seconds
I feel like
remaining.
he could be still pretty okay, but
5
yeah, man, this
seconds
is
remaining.
so far it's literally the exact same patch. It feels like the exact same patch actually.
I always feel like at the start when a change like this,
Reserve
it's not like a
time.
dramatic change like when 6.83 dropped, but for some of these heroes where most teams have been very
Radiant
comfortable
team
with
ban.
using, even though the hero's been changed a bit, I imagine just the fact they're so used to playing it and they got their nice little regime that even then it can still be a big threat. So they're going to kind of still play it cautiously and remove it. Yeah, the Axe changes, though. A Berserker Call no longer affecting invulnerable
10
units
seconds
is pretty
remaining.
crazy. And can no longer keep the targets disabled
5
if
seconds
Axe does
remaining.
die while the targets still have the debuff. So there's been a lot of tweaks with that call, which was just so crazy
Reserve
and potent
time.
before. But let's actually talk about the draft we're dealing with here. Union Gaming, they open
Dire
up. They have the
team ban.
first pick advantage as Complexity with their coin flip decide to go on the Radiant side. They grab up that Troll, and they followed up with the Dazzle now. And Complexity grab up the Clockwork and a Sniper grab here. Pretty peculiar to get the Sniper this early.
Radiant
He can
team
be a
ban.
bit susceptible to gap closers as it is, so look for Union Gaming to maybe get a hold of something. I do like that Complexity already grabbed up the Clockwork for themselves. And
exactly.
also, of course, if you haven't noticed, it's IX Mike who's going to be standing in for Complexity. I
10
imagine he's
seconds
playing the off
remaining.
lane, and he does good work with that Clockwork.
Yeah, that's the interesting thing. We
5
don't really know where
seconds
Mike is going
remaining.
yet. Like he used to play support, obviously, for like a long time ago. Limp is generally the offlaner for Complexity, but they probably switch
Radiant
things around. It's
team
probably
pick.
Limp and actually it might be Z Freak Minus playing. This is really weird. Like Swindlemelons is a very good one player, so I think Limp goes as the 2 player, and then Minus is or Mike's the offlane, and then Minus Z Freak support. That seems to be the best case scenario for Complexity, but we have to actually wait and see. This is the first time I'll see Complexity in a long time, actually, since they changed their lineup and Moonmander left the team. So it's been some time. I do want to talk about Union Gaming. I had the luxury of watching them the other day, and if you'll notice, they have somebody with no name on their team. This is based off of this person's clearly an anime fan. For those of you that watch No Game No Life, one of the main characters named Sora and Shiro. Like, it's two characters together, but they play video games, and their name is essentially empty brackets. So they're called blank essentially, but apparently he wants you to call him Sora, so we're gonna call him that. He actually plays a ridiculous Templar assassin. He the other day crushed. I think it was Root Gaming. It was either Root Gaming or Void Boys or Lucretia, one of those three teams, and they destroyed them with a TA in that mid lane, absolutely put in some work. And we know that these two teams have history, specifically Mike and Union Gaming have history, so should be interesting. Hopefully there aren't any pauses. I don't think that'll be the case.
Yeah, both these teams have a bit of an interesting and dark background behind them, whether it's Union Gaming, even though they have actually shown some impressive performance as of recent. It just can't go without saying that there's going to be that bit of a stigma in the air with Union Gaming as far as pausing and things seeming a bit shifty. IX Mike is probably the notorious one to start that whole thing up, so it's funny we get to see him on the other team right now. And like you said, with Complexity, you know, ever since the Summit 2 quals, where I think that's when they were in their prime and they made a run all the way to the finals where they fell short to not today. Since then, a lot of shifts. Moon Meander was moved over and became a support for a while. They had Waga, Dragonfist, Dota come in and stand in quite a bit, and now Moon Meander's gone, and things have shifted quite a bit. Now we get the pleasure of casting my nuts, and now IX Mike. So we'll have to see how this new crew kind of works together. They now grab a hold of their support duo, a Chen grab here, and they followed up with the Rubik. Nothing really stands out to me as like, oh, God, perfect game for a Rubik, but I guess you get the free Viper Strike, and now the Wraith King going to get picked up from UG.
This is like Grave and Viper Strike, and that's pretty much it. Like, there's maybe Battle Trance is pretty good to steal. Shadow Wave and Weaver, all right. I guess Wraith Fire Blast is the only spell you can steal from Wraith King, but I think the big pickup here is we saw Secret do this a lot with Chen and Rubik. Puppy played Chen, Kuroki played Rubik, and I was originally when I saw those two heroes together, I'm like, that doesn't seem very good, but they crush people with that support duo. It's ridiculous. And with a Rubik rotating into the mid lane with a sniper, with a Chen ganking as well, getting those early kills with Shrapnel, which you really have to do, is very important. So they're going to create a lot of space for this mid lane sniper currently. Chen will be able to farm in the jungle. Union Gaming don't have that luxury yet where they can send a hero into the jungle, so they have to get a lot more out of their lanes. Otherwise, Complexity will pull ahead in the net worth chart a bit early on. So the last pick is going to come out. Union Gaming ban out the Broodmother. We see this fifth ban Broodmother is very important for a lot of teams because screw that hero. Who wants to play against that thing?
When the stars align and you're able to quickly sneak in that fifth pick Brood, it could just end your day. I can't remember what game I was watching recently, but it was exactly that. It might even be in the DAC, but it's one of those things that you just like completely forget about that hero. And then it creeps on up, and then your day is just ruined.
And then you lost. You're just like, I just don't want to play Dota anymore.
Like,
you're thinking about like taking a bottle of Jack and like just getting drunk real quick, man. That's how I feel when I play against Brood. Screw that hero.
That's like one of the few times I'm like, yes, perfect KotL game. And I get KotL, I end up getting wrecked anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Like then you have the problem of picking a KotL, and you're like, well, I guess I lost.
Yeah, just like because these teams and these players nowadays know how to micromanage so well that you'd think that you'd get free farm on those spiderlings, but even like you think that Axe would be a direct counter, but I've seen lately top-notch Brood players, they will gladly pick the Brood even into someone like an Axe, and they don't even care. I mean, I think Zai did that recently. It was just ridiculous.
Like you hit level 5 in the off lane, and you pretty much get free kills against people that are bad because people are like, oh, spiderlings definitely won't kill me, and then you take like 3 right clicks and you're dead because of the poison damage from the spiderlings. You're like, well, broken hero, I guess, or something.
Yeah, you can't underestimate that nuke, too. You just eat little bits of damage, like, okay, these spiders, get them off me now. I'm at half-life, and then a nuke flies in, and you're just blown up, and then she has more spiders, she takes the tower, and you hate your life. You hate
It's a pretty accurate description of how playing against Broodmother feels. So.
Lena, going to be the spicy fifth and final grab here for Complexity. I'm looking at their lineup. It looks relatively squishy. But
safe lane Lena, man.
Yeah, this is a core Lena, a farming Lena, something that a lot of people were anticipating through DAC, but we didn't get to see a whole lot of. But here it is with Complexity.
This is like an NA staple nowadays. Sometimes mid lane is pretty good as well. Safe lane Lina is very good. You get that early level 6. You actually just crush your lane.
10 seconds remaining.
We see this a lot against squishy agility carries that go for like BKB or have lots of magic resistance, like against an anti-mage. You get an Ags, so it's all pure damage, and whatever magic resistance you have or BKB is negated 100%. So all of a sudden, boom, you get like 1,000 damage in your face. You're like, well, didn't see that Aghanim's come out.
Oh,
but they get the Huskar.
Oh,
but
another.
Again, this is a problem. Like, if they go for the Huskar and she gets an Aghanim Scepter, it doesn't matter how much magic resistance he has. He's fucking dead. I don't understand.
Oh my god. It's rare that a Huskar can fit into a lineup where you know it's going to work here. And even then, I mean, I guess the physical damage is not very potent here just with the sniper only, but a Huskar is kind of a hero where if he can go off the rails, there is going to be no looking back. I love this grab. It's a manly grab. Oh boy, Union Gaming.
I don't know, man. Like, Huskar wants to run at people, and Sniper's like, I'm just going to sit like a million miles back. And I know you want to jump on me, but that's actually just never going to happen. Like, Limp's just going to right-click him. Huskar's going to get slowed with the headshot, and he's like, well, so much for that.
Do we lane the Huskar mid? Was that what's this?
You have a lot of options. I don't think so.
remaining.
Viper and Troll are better mids in this situation. Viper is actually okay against Sniper. It's not the
5
best matchup.
seconds
Troll is it's about the same, I'd say. If you send the Huskar mid, I guess early on Sniper has a really rough time, but later in the game, once he gets a couple levels and take aim, it's iffy. So I don't know. Union Gaming, it really just depends on what they want here. If we look at the lanes though, Viper generally, what can they do? So they can go like aggro tri-lane. You could do like Wraith King support with the Dazzle plus one hero like a Viper aggro tri-lane, send Huskar mid, solo safe Troll. All right, Mike, can you just relax, dude?
Can we just take it easy? I mean, of course we're going to lead things in with a pause, but I just love how Mike is immediate there to harp on it. This is just an Dota once more, but yeah, we'll have to see. It's looking like the boots first Wraith King, though. So he's looking to get action started right away.
You need to go boots first, I think, in this situation. Otherwise, you're useless. Like, you're not in position. Poison Touch is not going to help you that much. It really comes down to just setting up a good fight with Ray Fire Blast and going to work. I don't know what you put in. If you go aggro tri-lane, do you send the Viper or the Huskar there? I think, okay, so Blank is their mid player, and he's on the Huskar, so we'll see.
I'm going to be calling him Sora, because I think that's what you said is...
Yeah,
or they
you can
said
call him Blank or Sora is fine.
Anime fanboy. You know, I don't know. But here we go. We'll lead things in. Funny to note as well, coming into this matchup, according to the Dota 2 Lounge odds, if you're out there betting your hats like crazy, and I know a lot of you are, is the favorite is Union Gaming coming into this one. I want to say it's about a 60-40 or a 55-45, something like that, to their advantage. Whereas if this was a couple months ago, you'd think it'd be a stomp by Complexity. So it's always interesting to see how things shift. And really, it's a matchup where I wouldn't even consider putting hats on.
I mean, have you seen Complexity Gaming recently?
Not as of recent, since they've not been swinging
battle.
in like Waga and Dragon Fist, but we'll have
team
to
just
see.
They don't look very good right now. I'm only going to say this. They really need to step their game up here. Union Gaming have played pretty phenomenally in the past couple of weeks, and I think a big part of this has to do with this Blank player, this Sora player, Huskar. He's got the right stuff, I'd say. We'll see though how things do pan out. Looks like they are going to go for an aggro dual lane with the Huskar as well as the Z-Talk Wraith King. Send the mid lane Viper up against the Sniper, and then top lane is going to be the Troll Warlord and Dazzle dual lanes. So interesting dual lanes coming out.
This is going to be an action-packed game. I'm feeling about the mid-game period. Things are going to get hot and heavy real quick, and that will pretty much decide the game right then and there. That's just an early bold prediction, but yeah, on Complexity side, my nuts going to be playing Chen, a player which all casters really love to commentate on when he's in a game. Jokes will happen. That will be extremely unintentional. Limp is on the Sniper now. He's going to be duking it out with the Viper in the mid lane. Could have a bit of a struggle here. Viper should be able to hold his own, but Limp should be able to kind of sustain himself and get the CS he needs. Against that dual matchup bottom is going to be Mike on his Clockwork. I believe he's still, of all the heroes he plays in the off lane, this one he has the highest win rate with. I think the last time I checked, it was like an 80% win rate. It was actually pretty ridiculous for pro games, but as of recent, he was playing a lot more of the like Nature's Prophet, maybe even a Spirit Breaker from time to time, or a Tide Hunter, the more standard, but he'll be back on that Clockwork and top, of course, Swindle Melons. Lina with that nice new cosmetic kind of get up, and Z-Freak on the Rubik, so bit of an intriguing lane setup from both sides, And I'm curious to see. My Nuts does have the smoke. I'm banking he's going to go for an early gank. A la your
he needs another creep or something. Maybe get level 3 or something like that. He can go early on if he wants to, but I think for now, the really interesting thing like you talked about was the laning setup, and I think Swindle and Z-Freak realized what was happening bottom. They put a ward up and they saw them rotate down bottom with those two heroes. Like, we don't want to deal with a Huskar with our Lina. That is not a good matchup for us at all. Early on, Berserker's Blood is going to be pretty nice against Swindle until he gets a negative scepter. If he does get that item, which is like, who knows if that's going to be the case, because magic resistance for a Huskar, even at first level, 4% per stack of Berserker's Blood.
Yeah.
Already 20% magic resistance currently with 4 stacks, or rather 16% magic resistance with 4 stacks of Berserker's Blood. So it's pretty nice.
Huskar's one of those like heroes that you always think you're gonna win in a game of chicken. He's got like a sliver left, and you're like, "It's no problem. I'll take him down." No, then he just like unleashes a fury on your ass, and you're just like, "I hate my life."
And then you're dead.
Yeah,
and then it's just over at that.
Mike, caught between two here. Stun's gonna be thrown out. He does find the cogs, goes straight south now to avoid this dynamic duo, but the burn damage is gonna be enough, and there is your first blood. It's gonna be Mr. Blank, also known as Sora, on your Huskar. What a beautiful start for him.
Burning Spear is good ability. He had like 5 stacks on him at the end there and just got like his body burnt to a crisp. Those 3rd-degree burns, not feeling that great. So Clockwork's mechanical, but he still burns anyways. Packet loss. Woo! Valve, good stuff. Dank servers.
They were being a bit tricky as we saw when we were in the lobby. I'm not getting any packet loss myself, and my ping personally is pretty good, but yeah, I did lose like connection to Steam briefly. We got this new update. There could be finicky things happening. I look good already. Oh man, so the fire is out there right now. It's a bit spicy between both sides. So this makes for good Dota though. You know, the pokes, the jabs, the verbal abuse that creates for more tension.
Listen, it's not any Dota without this.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it's just poor Dota in this situation. Swindle and Z-Freak contesting the top pull from Zinderals, and he's a Dazzle sitting level 3. Mike needs to not be where he is currently, or anywhere near that Huskar for that matter. Like, he'll take on the Wraith King toe-to-toe, that's fine, but if there's a Huskar in lane and he's next to him, he will die.
But
so
this Huskar just has all the room. He's like, my lane now. Easy CS, no problem. This Wraith King's going to be able to zone back Mike. Mike gets too close. He just gets hit with a couple of spears, and then he quickly needs to regen. But look at mid lane now. We got my Nuts smoked up. He's got the Hellbear Smasher, a.k.a. the Tomato. He's got the Troll. They're looking to move on in right now. Can he get the net quickly? Oh, he gets it. It's a little far. Shrapnel's going to be dropped once. Oh, the Smash not going to connect, but with the secondary Shrapnel, 3rd Shrapnel, they should get the job done. Greedy. Oh, the long right hit, and it's going to be my Nuts that gets the kill. 1-1 now.
My Nuts feeling bold, jumping in, going deep in that tower.
Oh, yeah.
Nice gank coming out. Viper going down. And this is what I was talking about. Like, you need to rotate early when you have Shrapnel number 1 to work with, and you have a Chen as well. Like, that, you see that smoke gank so often from a Chen. It's like almost, it's methodical how it works out. If there's a Chen in your game, expect a gank anywhere from like 2 to 4 minutes, and he gets it done. And Viper going down is a pretty big deal. This guy kind of snowballs to a certain extent, and also getting Limp the lane win is huge. He has 17 CS to the Viper's 14. I talked about this matchup. It's a bit better for the Sniper, and now even more so that he gets that kill. Rotation mid from the Wraith King with the Invis rune, which they saw they had a rune here, or a ward rather. So they noticed that he does get the Invis rune, or at least they should have. And Z-Talk he's sitting pretty close, but they do have Minus nearby.
They have a
He's
sentry.
He's
He
gonna
walks
pop it
into
down. They see him. Z-Talk's gonna get ensnared. And there's the Shrapnel, but he will get away. He's out of the sentry ward range, but he will not be able to gank in that mid lane.
Close. That sentry, though. Gives him that little bit of peek, and what could have been potential sniper takedown is going to be saved right there with the benefit of having your Chen ally nearby. Z-Freak makes the rotation away from top. Goes and gets a bit of a rendezvous here with my Nuts, and now they will both shift towards the top lane here, maybe hoping to get a quick snag on this Troll, who's 23 and 9 CS, but your King of CS still belongs, of course, to Huskar at the bottom lane. Mike is still sitting at a 13 and 0, which is respectable CS, but he's trying to get towards that level 6 right now.
This
And
Huskar
he's
has an armlet, dude.
of,
It's 5 minutes. This Huskar
What?
has an armlet.
He doesn't even have boots. Straight up fancy armlet, looking to put to use right now. Mike, there's the jump on in, and a rotation's to come from Z-Freak, but it might be too late, and it will be. He goes down, and they're like, sweet, a Rubik, let's get that guy. And they're going to run right for him. Meanwhile, on the other side, they're making it go on to Chen. Chen's going to get caught out and will be taken down with the Tomahawk. And Union Gaming Find a sweet grab there from top to bottom, taking down both Mike and the Chen.
This game's a goddamn disaster. Let's be honest here. This is not going well for Complexity, other than their mid lane for Limp currently. The top lane CS is iffy. It's bit behind the troll. They're not really contesting his farm. They're just dodging a disgusting aggro tri-lane. Huskar has an armlet already. He's going to tread through top lane. They're going on this middle. He will LSA here, but still in trouble. Poison Touch is available. They're going to use it. Whirling Axe is on cooldown. This troll, he's pretty speedy. He's going to use his phase boots. Will he die for this? The Orb of Venom, rather, Poison Touch, excuse me. Not enough damage to get the kill with the right clicks from Benhaz. But, I mean, they're just running at people. This is the lineup of Union. All right, let's just run at them and see what happens.
Yeah.
Let's go.
This is the go time. Put the pedal to the metal, run them right over. You don't even want to allow them to get any sort of potential point where the sniper could bring in the farm and really be a nuisance because, in all honesty, the sniper could still be a factor in the late game. It's not too crazy and too hard to kite out a big bad Huskar. But this Huskar already with that huge early armlet grab. Now he has the Morbid Mask. He doesn't need no shoes. Bare feet works for me. All I have to do is jump in with my ult to get close. And meanwhile, they actually catch out Z-Freak here. My nut shows up, throws out the back, the stun. Beautifully set up right there, and they get the job done. Meanwhile, they make it go on to Mike, and it's going to be a killing spree now on your Huskar. He's trying to win away the toggles. Come on, Dr. Lee, can we get it done right now? Another toggle. He's making the run. Get away from me, bird. Shrapnel, slow him down. Double shrapnel. Continues to toggle. Dazzle's going to be here. He has the grave if necessary. Oh, it's like a Huskar's best friend, and he walks away. Uh-oh, assassinate? I heard the load up, but it's not going to go through.
Oh my god. 5-minute armlet, that's why you get it. You don't need boots, you just run at people, and then you have 11 stacks of Berserker's Blood. That's 66% magic resistance. What a hero.
Ridiculous. I mean, there is not a lot of setups and lineups where you're going to make a Huskar work, and it's not like a lot of players can even play the hero, have practice playing it. Well, they're making it go mid lane on the greedy. Another nice setup. Telekinesis bring back into the Centaur's stomp is good coordination from Complexity to get another kill, which they will certainly need.
Yeah, the one thing they need is to get limp kills in this game. That seems to be the only real shot they have, I think. Also, I think he assassinated, and he's like, oh, wait, he actually has so much magic resistance, I don't know if I'm going to kill him. I'm not sure if that was the case in that bottom lane engagement, but it's 8 minutes in now. The top CS is Benhaz. The most farmed hero in the game is the Huskar, Sora, Blank. And they just continue to roll. The sniper is really good that he's farmed, but that's it. That's all they've got going. They're going to try to go in Swiddle, but he avoids the Whirling Axe. Telekinesis hookshot to a creep as they put him down in the wrong area. A little bit of miscommunication. That was awkward.
That was a bit awkward. Mike makes the call to jump on in, but at that same moment with the telekinesis, it seems to be a bit funky. You know, chalk that up to, of course, Mike standing in. The team doesn't really have a lot of experience kind of working together, and, well, with that, they potentially lose out on an opportunity to get a grab right there. But look at this. Early Roche jumps right in and says, let's duke it out, big boy. And now Union Gaming going for the quick Roche play here. I don't know if Complexity are onto this one. My Nuts is nearby. Could always scout it out with a creep if necessary. Oh, there's the rocket. Yeah, they know now for sure as Mike is going to be there to scout it on in. And Huskar walks back, very low life. They actually don't do a whole lot of damage here to Roche, and they're thinking maybe they can make a go onto Sora, but that's not going to be happening. They go instead. Wraith King, he's got the Shallow Grave, not level 6. Laguna comes through, and they take out Huskar. And now they turn on over. Benjaz making a run onto Limp. Limp, the sniper, going to get caught. The Bash is going to be there, and a few more right clicks, but it's Viper who's able to grab that. 2-for-1 trade right now. LSA going to connect on the Benjaz. Benjaz trying to walk away. The Fate Bolt's going to be there. Throws out the Tomahawks. Blind on the creeps if necessary, but the Hadouken Blast coming out from the Chen creep. Now Viper gets his own trade. A double kill from him. Evacuates to the high ground to get away from this one, and I guess when it's all said and done, what is that, a 2-for-2? A 2-for-3 trade? I believe a 2-for-2 at the end of it. But they are able to take down the big bad Huskar, so a bit of a bounty swing going the way towards Complexity.
Actually, I forgot that the Wraith King had died in that situation. He went down very early on. But
yes.
It was a core and a support for two cores and a support. So Union Gaming getting a bit less out of that fight, obviously. And, I mean, they did get the kill on the sniper, which is huge, but they also lost their Huskar and Troll, which is very big. But there is now the mech coming out for the Viper. It doesn't have treads yet, kind of interesting. You usually see that first, but that's fine either way. And, I mean, at this point, they tried going for an aggressive play in the Roshan. They really couldn't do that early on in the game. So instead of just trying to find fights or, you know, pushing towers or just farming, which would have been even better, they kind of do something a bit greedy and they get punished for it. And that gives a lot for Complexity. It's back to even in terms of net worth. and even have a 1,500 experience lead. So what was a disaster early on this game is turning to be okay, and they're going to try to go for Roche again, and I'm not sure if this is the right decision, although Huskar does do a decent chunk of, well, maybe not. He's not really doing that much damage.
Well, Mike already rocketed, so he doesn't have one available to scout it out, but yeah, Huskar does need to be a little
Swindle's going to come in
here.
like light strike array and kill him.
Hey, how's it going there? Throws it out. Does not
Didn't
commit the
know
Laguna. Walks away. There is help
Dire's
nearby.
top tower is under attack.
Huskar's slowly going to wither it down. Another rocket's going to be flying in. Oh! Man, I don't know. I can't do that toggle. This toggle kind of work. Brings himself down to a fraction and makes it work. Now he goes forward. Oh, if he moves in and gets a Laguna, that Huskar is dead.
Is he actually going to take this? They're not going to fight? Are you serious? He's going to get it. They're going to grave him early. They actually used the Laguna onto the Viper. He's got magic resistance, but Minot's long-range jam from the Huskar, but he's going to get assassinated. There goes his Aegis. Ben Haas is like, let's run. He's getting slowed by the shrapnel. What a goddamn disaster. The counter jump from Z-Freak, but that doesn't do much. That's not the hero you want to jump on. Benjas is going to live barely. Now the telekinesis, they get Sora. They actually lose 3 in the process. The Satyr just right-clicks down the Huskar to get the kill. What is happening, Union? What are you doing?
Oh, I don't know about doing that Roche at all, at any point. I think continuing to farm on up, get your Wraith King to finally level 6. Huskar was already on a nice path to build up lots of farm to be in a snowball place, but they felt maybe a bit pressured to kind of try to do the behind-the-back play of getting that Roche, and clearly it doesn't work. The first attempt allows Complexity to get things evened up. Now Complexity are going to be ahead. They get a big fight going their way. That sniper finds a good spot, and Limp just kind of unloads huge right-click damage, which now he's going to be working on this big ol' Ancient stack. This sniper is going to be a big problem in the late game if Union Gaming continue to kind of make questionable decisions.
Hey, dude, with this Mom, he actually does a shit ton of damage.
Yeah,
It's going to be a problem. Like, they have no way to jump on him either. There's no Blink Dagger coming out from a Wraith King because he's not a core Wraith King. Huskar's R button is not that big of a range. There's no way he's really going to get on top of somebody unless he gets a Blink Dagger. They have no real... I mean, short of getting an Aghanim Scepter for a Viper, there's nothing they can do to initiate on this sniper, which is why they picked up the Clockwork first pick, because they knew how good that hero is against the sniper. So they want to take it out of the pool, make sure Mike gets it. He'll be the one to initiate, and they actually, with Cogs, will create a space where Lip can just sit in the back and kill everybody. And then, as long as they use Laguna Blade, it doesn't matter what happens to Selena. Like, they need to secure 1 kill with her, and that's it.
Yeah, it feels like they decided to go with the Huskar. Another, I guess, with his ultimate can be a gap closer, but you're going to have to try to make that jump over the potential front line of Complexity, and I feel like the initiation factor is just that much better with your Clockwork. So Complexity can always look to lead things off, and then Union Gaming might not be able to really bounce back from that. I feel like just as the game goes on, we're going to see more proper positioning from Complexity side with their sniper, and Union Gaming are just going to really have a hard time trying to get in close, because that's pretty much the majority of their damage is coming out close range. Even Viper, it's not like the longest range on him. Troll's got to get in there, and Huskar. This is going to be tricky.
You're absolutely right. And the thing is, too, the crazy thing is that Lip doesn't have any mobility or defensive item. He has a Mom, which is a purely aggressive item, I get, unless you're running away from something in phase moves. But, like, if they, like, top play, or, well, hold that thought. He's probably dead. He does have 3 information.
Yeah, they tried to use Shallow Grave, maybe so we could save it, but it's going to be used regardless. And now it's their time to go in the assault. Huskar's looking to come in, a flank side from the right. Who's he going to commit for? He goes on to Mike, drops the cogs in the battery assault. They will take him down. Shrapnel's flying out. Limp is here now, and they're like, we don't want to dive into that. That sniper might unleash a fury onto us, but they do end up getting a successful takedown. They commit 4 to this top lane to get it done. But at this point, Union Gaming will take whatever little grab they can. Benjaz is stuck on lone defensive duty against this throng of creeps. 4 creeps coming his way and for the tower, which is very, very low. And Glyph is up. Glyph is going to be used. Last second, about 8 damage left. 8 life left. So close, but it's not going to matter.
Oh, that's a good try, Benjaz, but that denies. So like I said, Sniper doesn't have a Blink Dagger yet. He could certainly get one this game. And then as a Huskar, it's just like, well, I have Brown Boots, so I'm not the fastest guy in the world. How am I supposed to jump on people? So positioning is a huge factor for the Sniper, and as long as he's smart about it, he shouldn't die anytime soon. But
Oh! Swing and a
Mike.
miss from
Not
Mike.
your
They
best
wanted that.
everybody.
They knew that his reincarnation was down, but they're not going to get this Wraith King. They would love to follow it up with a kill into a tower, but they might just have to settle for the tower instead. Dazzle's en route to help out. Nearby, Huskar's kind of working with a double stack, so he really can't be there. So this is looking like Complexity are going to get an easy breezy tier 1 tower. It does have the glyph. They will use the glyph. Here comes a TP. They actually want to take a fight. Greedy's going to get stunned as he does come in. Heals fly out, and it looks like Complexity might have to walk away. Z-Freak goes off to the right-hand side, maybe to create some space. Jumpin comes out, Sword, trying to make the go into Swindle. Swindle's going to be taken down. Cox pushes him back. Early preemptive Shallow Grave just in case. And my nuts now, the focus fire. Double buyback even, coming out from Complexity to get right back into this one. They TP to the bottom tier 1 tower, and Union Gaming pull back. Meanwhile, Rubik gets the kill, taking down the Dazzle, and the Wraith King will drop. So it's 2 for 2. Assassinate flies out. Huskar's going to be fine, but it does cost Complexity 2 buybacks.
Yeah, I mean, that's... Well, actually, they only lost those 2 heroes, and then they bought back, unless I'm crazy. So it's actually a 2 for 2 trade, plus buybacks, which is, of course, going to benefit Union Gaming because they only lost their supports. But, I mean, Complexity kind of just took that fight right into Union's hands. Like, this is a game where if you're a sniper and you just farm for a long time, there's not really much they can do. Especially, also, if Swindle gets an Aghanim too, it's the same kind of situation. But if you fight now into a mech, into a Viper, into a Huskar, it's like 30 minutes. Like, that's the turning point. If you get past that point, maybe you start having a better time right-clicking people, but there's no reason to fight into the Union right now, I don't think. There's no real... there's no timetable for Complexity, I don't think. At least not one that Union Gaming has. They can easily turn this into a game that is quickly ended, but... we'll see how things transition. They're trying to chase after this and try to get a fight. They're going to send back Swindle. Nice.
Oh, running on forward. There is going to be the send back. But they are still on the hunt here, maybe looking to push on ahead. We'll take that troll at least, something. Well, they can't even get that. So Union Gaming rotate a lot towards the bottom, but Complexity kind of slipped through their fingers. They get respectable damage on this tier 2 tower to take it down to about a 3rd life, but it looks like we'll finally see a bit of a calm here as both teams probably look to separate and continue on with their farm. And, well, it looks like Limp is going to go right for the Yasha first and foremost. Is this a Sange and Yasha kind of a game for your sniper, or are we looking at the Manta?
I don't know if there's much you really Manta in this game. Generally, it's a lot about silences, first and foremost, and then any annoying projectile / abilities. And maybe you can Manta a couple things, because you have that invulnerable time, but I think SNY is like, that is the item you go for on sniper nowadays, is Phase, Mom, SNY, so... I would be surprised if it's Manta, but I've seen stranger things. I've seen a lot of Manta Slarks, which I'm just not the biggest fan of, but I saw it twice in the past few days. So.
Gotta say, though, the Swindle Melon Lina trying to build back into this one. A little low on the net worth that you'd like for a core farming Lina, I'd have to say. And 2, 1, and 4. Maybe hoping to get big Beal, but yeah, trying to throw together the Yules certainly could help out with those setups leading into the more objective grabs, and certainly could enhance their farm quite a bit. But
yeah, I think, like, Swindle wanted to get off to a good start in that safe lane, and then they saw an aggressive dueling come out. He's just like, well, I'm not going to get any farm for the time being. So they're kind of struggling. So if he does go for an Ags, which I imagine he'll get after Yules, it's still going to take a lot of time. And he might get ganked as well if he's not careful. They rotate top. They have Greedy nearby, who's got an Ogre Club, but no real start to an Ags yet. Minutz, I think... Minutz is going to back away. He's a bit afraid, and I don't blame him.
Yeah. My nuts are going to cower on up. Right back in a way, and it looks like Greedy probably just, I'd imagine, going for right for the Aghanim Scepter. Viper Strike, though, on this kind of a game, I don't know, though. Like, are you even going to get close enough to really kind of put it on the sniper? I feel like having that as an essential could be a bit finicky. BKB doesn't seem too crazy. It's not going to really even offer a lot against the Lina nowadays. We'll have to see where he decides to take it from here.
I think you still build BKB because there's, like, Rubik and Telekinesis and all of Lina's other spells. I don't know if you build BKB before Aghanims this game for Greedy. I guess if you build Ags, you probably just don't build BKB at all because you have enough survivability, but they're going to rotate. They're going to check Roche, which is up in a minute. That's a very quick Roche respawn.
Third item,
but
Blade
they're
Mill
drawing
on
the line.
Huskar.
They're going mid. They're going to go mid.
Yeah, we're going to check it out.
But pretty good.
Third item, Blade Mail on Huskar. I'm not a big Huskar kind of a player, but that seems pretty intriguing to me. Drums are going to be popped after they put down the ward, but they're still not getting a hold of anyone. Frantic pings fly out. Z-Freak's like, oh, Jesus Christ, I need to get the hell back, because a weave will land on him, but this looks like Union Gaming coming up short, and this ward potentially paying off very nicely here for Complexity.
So Blade Mail is a good choice for Huskar. I mean, what else do you build on this hero? Maybe you get, like, BKB is good, but you want them to throw magic abilities on you because you have that gigantic magic resistance. You get a Satanic eventually. He actually picks up a Talisman of Evasion, which is the next best item in the Heaven's Halberd, because against the sniper, if you can get close enough, that'll just disarm him, and he is useless in the fights if you could disarm the sniper. So that's a big target to use him. I mean, there's a couple of items you can go for, but this is the right choice. Blade Mail, I think, is pretty smart, because if the sniper unloads on you, if anybody unloads on you, if you get Laguna, boom. It's a lot of reflected damage, so. There's the Yule's finally done, though, for the Lina. Maybe she tries to go for Ags next. They're going to try to push into this Tier 1 tower. They traded a Tier 1 bottom. Union Gaming are going to have to TP back and defend this. Every hero is here for the Radiant team, though. Big fight might break out.
Tremendous TP. Z-Talk's going to get connected with a stun lockdown, Centaur follow-up, but that's just his first life, and it's going to slow down Complexity. Here comes Union Gaming, right up to the high ground. Mike jumps in, catches him off at the pass, and gets a nice COG to lock down the Huskar, and now they're going to try to focus him. He comes right out onto the My Nuts, and the right clicks are going to be there. He gets the killing spree, but he gets shot down from Limp. Limp with that positioning can now unload huge right click from above. Greedy is going to get caught out, walk away. Assassinate going to catch on the Wraith King and finish him off. Limp with the double kill, and well, that's what I was expecting from Complexity. The solid positioning, Limp staying far back and away as they try to make the commitment to take down Mike, and they're distracted and have their arms full with them. Limp is just going to dish out the right clicks, and it's more than enough to take down the Wraith King and the Huskar, and they get this Tier 2. They walk away the breadwinners after that.
Mike, never play another hero other than Clockwork, ever. That's your hero, dude. Don't ever play anything else. Like, that was actually the most amazing hookshot position in Clockwork cogs I've ever seen. Like, okay, so if we go back to the fight, he hookshots in, and he covers like 90% of this walkway with cogs, and he gets the Huskar. Everyone else is like, I want to go this way, but they get pushed down, and they really just can't do anything. So all of a sudden, they take out the Troll and the Huskar. They kind of separate them from the rest of the fight and just destroy them. So really good positioning from Mike. You need to hit hookshots like those to keep your sniper safe, and they do just that.
So it's a Manta now complete on your sniper. And maybe he sees the evasion come up on your Huskar and considers an MKB in the near future, just to make sure he could securely take down the beast if necessary. But as you see, Limp is already playing very well, nice and elusive here on his sniper play. But I feel like the ball's in Complexity's court at this moment, and they're taking more advantage of the map, more advantage of their side in the meantime. And I don't know. I just feel like for Union Gaming, we might see more of what we just saw. It's going to be pressure on them to try to commit, to try to get their own pickoffs, sneaky plays and stuff. But as long as Complexity keep down some solid wards, I don't think they should have too much trouble with that.
The one thing that Union Gaming could try to do is what they did earlier on, which was smoke Roche. But if Mike is smart, he'll just flare that on cooldown or close to cooldown. He'll like maybe send every 2 or 3 flares over to the Roche pit. So that's just keeping tabs on the map, using your vision that you have at your disposal. And yeah, I mean, if you're Complexity, you wait until you have an Aghanim Scepter on the Lina. You wait until maybe an MKB/BKB is done for Limp, because you get BKB if you don't want to have to deal with the disarm in general, because that's going to be coming out so you can't Manta out of it. Or you get MKB if he doesn't complete the Halberd in a timely fashion and just has the Talisman of Evasion. So those are your next 2 choices. I wouldn't be surprised if he goes for either. Could also go for like a Maelstrom, but I don't think you need to. It's for like pushing waves out and stuff, but they're going to go bottom instead. They're going to push into this Tier 2 tower. This is the second to last outer tower. Top is still living. There's the Blink Dagger. This is actually a big pickup for Z-Talk. We talked about gap closing onto the sniper. That's one way to do it. Blink Wraithfire Blast.
Yeah, even if he gets right in there and pops his reincarnation in the heart of the Complexity team, they're going to have a hard time moving away and putting himself in a better position. So I think being able to jump on in there with the help of a Blink Dagger certainly could assist Union Gaming on trying to get something back, but Complexity continue to find objectives. Now they smoke up. They could try to sneak in and go for this Roche. Oh, how convenient. A DD rune right there. Now, there's no ward, so if they grab it, they won't see it even just disappear out of thin air, but with that DD rune, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of trouble getting this Roche.
There's a party in Roche's apartment right now.
Exactly.
A bunch of animals, like 4 heroes just sitting back.
Guys, I don't have enough room here. I can't even put my elbows out. But it's an easy grab. It's just going to be picked up from your sniper. Complexity continue to bully themselves back into this one. Reminder at the start, Union Gaming, They had a 5-minute armlet on their Huskar in the bottom lane. It looked like a domination from Union Gaming in the early laning phase, but Complexity really pulled it back. Ever since the questionable opportunity to try to maybe go for Roche, it just felt like Complexity took 2 fights, and it's been their game.
I'm just not sure why they didn't run at Complexity, honestly. Like, smoke up, run at them. They smoked up into Roche, which is not... I think if they smoked, got a gank or 2, then Roche, maybe it's a bit better, but they literally just smoked Roche twice. And, like, Complexity knew it was going to happen. Like, they flared in there multiple times, which is why it's so hard to do that against a Clockwork. But I think if they just ran at Complexity, maybe they have a bit of a better situation. Or they just die. I mean, at least they knew that, you know, they tried their best at killing people and it didn't work out. Going for Roche is kind of a questionable decision, I'd say, as we saw in that fight. So, and if you're Complexity, just sit back. You have Aegis now. They're not going to run at you with Aegis, and if they do, it's probably not a good fight. And you can just farm until Aegis expires. Sniper's going to have another item. Lena probably has her Aghanim. She's actually 500 gold away from it. So you can kiss all of that magic resistance goodbye from the Viper as well as from Minutz's Berserkerish Blood. So you have pretty much a sure kill with that Laguna Blade. And then at that point, all you have to do is hit your R button, kill one person, and the Sniper do the rest of the work.
That's where I feel it's just maybe a bit finicky if you wanted to try to pick this Huskar into a lineup where they had already prioritized picking up the Clockwork. I mean, it just feels like he's not going to be able to really get in there into the nitty-gritty and get off his true Huskar damage. I feel like Clockwork's constantly going to be the gatekeeper or the bouncer for a lot of these skirmishes. It's more pressure on Union Gaming to try to catch out Complexity with their pants down, but
yeah,
as it looks, Complexity have a tight belt on, suspenders. Pants aren't going anywhere.
I think the Huskar pick would have been fine if they went for, maybe instead of a Blade Mill, he goes for a Blink Dagger or something, but I'm not sure if that changes anything. They needed some really blinks on a lot of these heroes. They got one on Z-Talk, but it was a bit delayed. And so they're just kind of relegated to farming a small portion of the map because they don't have map control anymore. I mean, there's all of the tier 1s except the bottom tier 1 are still up for Complexity, and they're about to take the last outer tower for Union. And so it's just a question of how do we fight this? Like, they're splitting up the map, they're farming a lot more than we are. They clearly have more items, they have more damage now with the Laguna Blade, so for Complexity, just take their time, I think, and then the game ends.
Yep. Slowly they'll be able to kind of just siege into the high ground at their own pace with the creeps kind of being their frontliners, the Chen army. Limp just hanging on the low ground. I mean, if they want to even make the committed jump on the Limp, it's going to cost them a lot, and that's going to be just for the Aegis, but they're going to try what looks like some sort of flank play, but there is a ward on the high ground. They make the jump right into the middle. So Zato, he's like, okay, if I lose my life, that's fine, but they use him up, pull him away. Now Zephyr going to get jumped on, and Huskar gets a good quick grab, and now they're trying to focus the next target here. Limp could be it. 3 of them run in. Huskar on the way back goes for Mike instead. They get Limp. They take down his first life. They wait for him to come back, and they could get him. Laguna flies out there, able to take down Sora, the Huskar, but Limp could be in trouble. Force gets him to low ground, and he gets TP and sent back home and saved. Rest of Complexity trying to make do with what they got. Swindle gets a secondary kill, taking down the Troll, and they might be able to do this without it. He gets in the fight. Oh, wow, he's back and ready. Assassinate and gets it done. Triple kill for Swindle, double for Limp. It's a 5-man wipe. Viper's forced to buy back as it looks like Rax could be contested here. Beautiful send back from My Nuts, and with the quick purchase of the Boots of Travel, he comes right back into the fight. Complexity, very sharp play from them, and they'll reward by taking in this tier 3.
That was so good. Just to have the presence of mind be like, I don't need MKB, I don't need BKB, I'm botsing in, let's go. They take the fight. Really good Aegis usage, and then the Laguna, they held that for so long, and they're like, okay, we're gonna pop it. He's at half health now, he's gonna die. So they just destroy that Huskar. They zone out everyone with the cogs. Limp dies once. It looked like it could have been bad for a moment there, but the Aegis was used, and they kind of just reset the fight. And that's a really nice fight for Complexity. They take, they take it slow, and they almost get the ranged top racks. They get the melee racks bottom. That damage is going to persist on the range racks, and so it's pretty much a set of racks gone that top lane now. And if you're Complexity again, you just wait for another Roshan, and you're good to go.
Yep, they play it extra passive top. They don't overcommit or stay too long, even if that means trying to finish off the ranged racks. They're happy just getting the tier 3 and the melee. They pull right on out. Leave a couple of Manta Illusions to try to get the job done, but with that, they go back to farming. Even after completing the Boots of Travel, Limp on his Sniper already has 4.2k, so if he does want to move forward into that MKB, it actually doesn't seem to be too far down the road. Looking on the side of Union Gaming here, you still have a Huskar Talisman on side, and just a Mithril Hammer. His farm acceleration really slowed down after a while, unfortunately for him.
He just got beaten. He had Phase Drum Blink. What does that do for you in this situation? It's not much. They're going to find out Zatok in the top lane. He'll get Laguna. He had his Wraith King ultimate on cooldown, so just an easy kill for Swindle as he just blows up that poor Wraith King.
Yep, easy, quick, hit and run job. Complexity continue to benefit from that. On bottom lane. Give me this creep at least, Benjaz. Just give me something. 102 gold. Fine, I'll take it. So, Union Gaming walk away. Small victory there, but overall Complexity just kind of playing the slow game here. And as you said, if they want stalling out for the next Roche to make another go at Aegis to a potential another go inside the base, Union Gaming can't allow that to happen. Swindle, oh, tries to get the invis and send back, but Benjaz is going to be able to bottle it up.
Just another one of those awkward situations. All right, you can have this invis. Oh, bye. I wanted to talk to you, but well, I mean, at this point in time. They just lost their range racks. I don't know if they denied it or if it just died. But it's gone. When's Roche up again? Because that's probably when we see this game end. All right, who knows? At least a minute and a half, if not more. There's the MKB you talked about. Which, by the way, this is fine because he's not going for that halberd. He's got a Talisman of Evasion, and that's it.
Yeah. Now
and
it's like,
it also
doesn't
provides
matter.
a shit ton of damage, too. Plus, he's got an Alpha Wolf, so he just kills people pretty quickly.
Yeah, no problem. Dragons, no problem. Hot shots for you. So, easy work for him. He was already pretty dominant in the previous engagement now with that extra bit of muscle power. And you got to remember, there was a bit of a split between Union Gaming while you had the Huskar making the jump onto Mike. It allowed the rest of Union Gaming to focus fire the sniper, but because of that Aegis, it just took too much effort to send back, to bring back in with the boots of travel. And by that point, Union Gaming were already withered away to next to nothing. But now, Complexity trot themselves down this mid lane. They're happy to look to breach high ground once more. The second set of racks down is pretty much a nail in the coffin at this point for Union Gaming. And a reminder, this is a best-of-3 series, so there will be a game 2, potentially a match point here for Complexity if they continue with this momentum.
I think Union need to go back to the drawing board. As cool as that Huskar pick was, has it really done anything? Oh, the hook shot comes in onto 2. Mike actually gets the Kaga on the 1. BKB, they can Laguna now. Will they do it? I don't think so. They're gonna. Yeah, they will. Long range. Kaboom! Goodbye, Mr. Huskar. Benha's getting pot shotted, but he does take down. That is the biggest target. He does not have buyback. Midas pops the Ghost Scepter, and if Union only lose Huskar and get that sniper, that's a huge trade. But maybe looking to re-engage. Zendros is gonna get telekinesis. LSA is gonna go right click. He's done so. Benha is still chasing after Swindle. Viper Strike goes long range, but it was stolen. Siegfried goes down. He tried to TP. A bit of a waste of money there. Pendant's doing a lot of work. Greedy taking a lot of damage with that Viper Strike. Meanwhile, top lane, Swindle getting chased down by Zatok. It's actually a slow speed chase. Wraith King does have reincarnation.
Oh.
What is happening?
Benjaz gets a hold of Mike. Meanwhile, Greedy gets his own double kill. Mike's still on the run, trying to get away from your troll to the high ground. Immediate TP. Oh, Tomahawks are there. Does he get the bash? He does not. Mike is out. And when it's all said and done, it's a 3-for-2 trade. Union Gaming happy with that, and because of the rubber band factor, they get about a 2K gold swing their way.
The biggest thing is killing the sniper. The fact that they were able to jump on him, and now because these blink daggers are starting to do a little bit, they got him a bit late, but they need those items to work out. Like Blink Troll, Blink Wraith King, that's fine. They get the kill on the limp early on. Because that sniper, which is a lot of their damage, is gone. There's no Laguna Blade. CoL really can't win that fight. So, Roshan is back up in a minute and a half. Sniper has respawned. He'll probably just save her buyback after this. And that does a little bit, but it's not really enough. They need a lot more. They need like 6 or 7 of those. No, maybe a little bit less, but...
Yeah, well, I mean, you really never know. I mean, if Complexity kind of get flabbergasted... It felt like they were flabbergasted. That's going to be the word of that fight for Complexity. Flabbergasted. And, well, they got pincered, kind of moved apart, and Sniper, if he's caught on his own, he can get taken down mano-a-mano from someone like the Troll or the Huskar, and he didn't quite have aid close by, so he was able to be isolated and taken apart, and at that point it was just a scramble. Complexity were good when they're in unison, when they create their fight, when they make proper positioning, but when they are forced to scramble, that's where Union Gaming can really thrive. Vipers can easily right-click and get a hold of anyone. Troll's happy to go on anyone. Huskar's happy. These are players who love to go mano-a-mano. And Complexity are not good with that, so it just shows that there is potential there for Union Gaming to get what they want if they catch Complexity off guard.
I think Complexity could still easily take this with the items they have, but I think if they want to be super safe, if Limp goes for like a Blink Dagger, that's probably the best option you have at this point. That way you can blink away from any aggressors coming in from Union Gaming. You can go for another defensive item like a BKB. They already have the Manta, which is fine, so I think just get a Blink Dagger, maybe farm up, get an Aegis. You don't even need to have a Blink if you have an Aegis, so just make sure Limp survives somehow. Steel Grave, for all I care. Just you have to have him with him. It's one of the things you have to have, so.
They're going for a couple of Blade Mails here. Even the Wraith King looks like he's going to be grabbing up a Blade Mail himself, which could, you know, force Limp to second guess when he tries to get that true damage output there. And at that point, you know, it's not too easy to take down a couple of these members. You have 2 lives to break through for your Wraith King. Dazzle's got Shallow Grave. The Mechanism grab, of course, Greedy on the Viper's pretty durable. Huskar's pretty big.
It's really just for Swindle at this point.
Yeah.
Like, but he has a BKB, so
Yeah,
there's that.
In his 10-second BKB. Plenty of time. Nice.
He just picked
fresh,
that up, actually.
Shiny BKB.
Polished, even.
Pushes bottom, but Roche is up. Limp scouts it out, and they move right into the pit. Union Gaming are nearby. But checking out the vision here.
They're going to weave this.
Yeah, they put the ward up. They see it. They both know what's happening. There's the weave. It gets thrown out early. D-ward's happening. Zendral's on the low ground. And now you can see Rocket's going to scout out both Greedy and Zatok up there and above. And Complexity potentially make the call to retreat. Greedy jumps in, gets out the Viper Strike. Zatok jumping right in the middle of this one. Could get bursted down. Will be. Reincarnation going to come through. Laguna flies out. Greedy's going to get taken down. And he drops. Now the cleanup crew trying to come in from Union Gaming, but this is good positioning for Complexity in this narrow hallway of death. They quickly try to bring out the right click. Zindral's barely alive. Shallow Grave trying to TP home. They make it away from this one. Meanwhile, Benjaz making the run onto My Nuts. Getting him in the corner, trying to right-click him down. Union Gaming got to get the hell out. Limp is trying to run and will muscle him from the back lines. Assassinate shot. Huskar still lives. Zatok not going to be so lucky. Taken down. My Nuts gets the double kill. Mike gets a hold of Huskar, and it's a triple kill for Limp. Complexity wipe out all 5 of Union Gaming. And now if they want, they can go for the Roche, or they can push down this bottom lane.
They're going to push. This game's over. That was just the best play possible for My Nuts. Limp was in the thick of it, and he got sent back immediately after getting that first kill. And then, boom, he TPs back into the Tier 2 tower, walks up. He was not there for like a good 10 to 12 seconds, and all of a sudden walks back in and kills everybody, with My Nuts getting the credit for all of the kills, but still, all of the damage was dealt by Limp. That was such a good fight. You talked about the narrow hallway, the Cogs doing so much work. This game is over. They're going to get mega creeps here in a second. There is no way you can come back from this. That was such a strong fight. Strong performance from Complexity. Decimating the Union Gaming squad.
Yeah, and this was Union Gaming who had such a top-notch start. Huskar in the off lane, tremendous farm early. 5-minute armlet, can't say it enough, is something you really don't see every day, but a couple of questionable decisions allows Complexity to get right back even as far as farm goes, and then they just had the better fights where they wanted them. Now it's going to be Greedy in trouble. Mike makes the jump onto him. Cogs, right clicks, fly, Laguna in your mouth! And it's going to be done. Limp could be taken down, will be taken down. Has the buyback in those boots of travel if necessary. Zatok to live on the Shallow Grave for now. Healed up. Weave is there. Benjaz. Right clicking, trying to focus fire. Swindle. Another Cogs flies out for Mike. Self-fuel saves him for now. And, well, he's able to walk away. No problem. 3 more still down. And there's Limp. He did buyback. He did boots of travel in. And it's going to be them looking to finish off Union Gaming in game number 1. They throw in the towel and it is over. Looks like match number 1 is going to go to Complexity.
That was just super solid play. Mike specifically having a heck of a game with his clockwork hooks and cogs. He missed 1 hook up in the top lane. Didn't end up mattering. Minus had one of the best champ performances you'll ever see. And the rest of the squad just makes room for Limp. And he goes to work. He's surgical with these shots. He's able to just get out of the fights easily with the help of Minuts. And they just keep these back in when it's, you know, convenient for him. And they just destroy Union Gaming with a draft that was cool at first, pretty good in the laning phase, and then they made 2 of the most questionable decisions I've seen in a while. Going for Roche twice, once and then getting killed, and then the second time doing the same thing, dying. Complexity with a solid game all around, man.
Yeah, well played to them, but this is a best of 3, so we're going to get hopped into game number 2. It's going to be match point for Complexity. You are tuning in and watching the major All-Stars Dota 2 event special, the 100K base prize pool, crowdfunded, of course. You can get your ticket in the stores if you want to watch inside Dota TV. Myself, KotLGuy, bringing you the action for Beyond the Summit. Joining me, of course, is going to be Maut. I believe we're going to have Blaze step in for our next match. So, Maut, thank you so much for joining. If you want to show him some love and support, check him over on his Twitter, @MautDota. Myself, @KotLGuy. We'll be back in just a moment.